Hey guys, I love working with new trainees that don't know anything about the Mandela Effect or flat Earth or anything from where I live now in my reality. But new trainee today. Well, he's been there about a week. And I told him, I said, man, I ask all my trainees a question, well, 3 questions. I said, it's kind of a little survey, kind of a trivia survey, if you will. How many people were in the car when JFK got shot? And he looked at me, he's like, man, I wasn't even alive then. I'm like, okay, yeah, but you've seen video, you've seen some footage or, something that would, and he kind of, it's like, yeah, so he got to thinking about it. He says, 4 people were in the car. There was the driver, there was a guy in the front seat, then Jackie and John. I said, yep, that's the way I remember it, and that's the way it never was. And he was like, what? I was like, no, there were 6 in the car. There's always been 6 in the car. And I explained that to him. Then I said, okay, here's your second question. I said, have you ever seen the movie Moonraker? And he's like, no, I've never seen the movie Moonraker. And I was like, okay, well, I can't ask him that one, but I said, so what's another movie? Have you seen Star Wars? You've seen Star Wars, right? Yeah, I've seen Star Wars. What's the famous line from, that Darth Vader says to Luke? What's the big reveal? And he says it. Luke, I am your father. And I say, are you sure that's exactly how it's said in the movie? Yeah, I've seen it plenty of times. That's how it's said. Explain that one to him. So we're 2 for 2. And my third one is always, how do you spell Chick-fil-A? We got Chick-fil-A right down the street. And he's kind of thinking about it. I actually had to walk off for a second and come back. And he's spelling it. He's C-H-I-C. And he kind of pauses for a second. And I'm waiting. I'm like, okay, either he's going to get the download and say K, or he's going to stick with it. It's going to be a dash. And then he says, a little dash, F-I-L, and I've helped him finish it. I said F-I-L-A, right? And he said, yep, that's it, Chick-fil-A. So that's the way it's always been spelled, right? And I explained that one to him. And then he's just looking at me at this point. He's like, okay, what is this? And I said, well, there's a lot of things that I remember that don't match up to the way that it is now. And I said, I can give you, a little taste of it. That's what that is. But I said, you want to hear some more? And he's like, yeah, hit me with a couple more. And I told him about Mr. Rogers. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's always been a beautiful day in this neighborhood. And we kind of go on, and there was a few more. Jaws, I think we did. But it's crazy to see it for the first time on somebody else's face and see the look and for them not to be getting the download, basically, because this guy, he's like, man, what? What? Wait a second. Now, it may be tomorrow completely different. He may go start researching it, come upon a website that tells you how faulty the human memory is or whatever, and he may take the download and be completely hardened against it. But at least for today, he's gotten a little dose of it, little taste of being awakened. But I'll keep you guys updated on him and see how it goes. It's funny because the other guy that I talked to up there, he kind of popped back on me and while I was talking to him about it, and he's like, "Oh man, you're talking to him about some of the changes," and he even says to me, he's like, "Well, you're kind of pouring them on slow, aren't you? You're not hitting them with everything." I said, "Man, this is overwhelming stuff. I mean, just imagine how you were when you first started researching. You started looking into it. It can overwhelm you. It can wipe you out. You won't be able to sleep. It consumes you. I mean, it literally consumes you for the first, week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's still overwhelming at times, but just being able to talk about it and just kind of see the first time hit somebody's face and how they react. It's refreshing to see somebody take it and actually kind of think about it for a second and not completely dismiss it as, well, it's just bad memory. Because that's what one of the last trainees did, and one of the trainees I didn't feel comfortable talking to. He was a Freemason, and basically he was very open with the fact that he was a Freemason. And by open, I don't mean he was walking around the store telling me, or telling everybody he was a Freemason, but he had a little signet ring. He had a license plate that was Freemason license plate, and just it's I know a little bit about it, and I know some of the lower tiers, they probably have no idea what goes on at some of the higher degrees of Freemasonry, but yeah, it was one of those things. I didn't want to breach or bring up Mandela Effect or flat Earth to somebody that probably is aware of it, but not necessarily. I know he won't be open to it. I'll put it like that. So, but yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on it, and we'll see how things go. Hope everyone's doing well. I know it's been a while since I made any videos, and I've been super busy, work, home. I've actually cut a couple videos, like the audio for it, and just haven't even had time to upload or do anything with it. So, but anyway, take care, guys. God bless.